Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Comic Issues Daily. This is I Have Comic Issues, and today is September 19th, 2025, and I'm your host, Bryant, and we got more news than the Bugle or the Planet. Uh, the DCU quietly rewrites a Batman adjacent character's origin. Three DC heroes get wiped from canon for now from the DCU, and a mysterious debut hits an absolute Wonder Woman number 12. Marvel tees up Shadows of Tomorrow for the X-Men. Miles Morales brings the origin boxes into main continuity. Superman's ending plays differently on Max, and the AI Stan Lee hologram is set for LA Comic-Con. Then we'll cap it off with the CovrPrice Daily Shakers. This episode is sponsored by Ron's Comic Closet, and you can get 20% off your first purchase with Ron by using code IHaveIssues at checkout. Link is in the description below. Hit like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. But before we do, please check out our support for Brandon, or go support Brandon and Mon Comics. He and his family lost their house in a house fire a couple weeks ago. So please support Brandon. The link is here in the description or right here on the screen. So please do that. And let's get into our stories now. All right. And in the first story, in a surprising continuity shift, the DCU has rewritten the backstory of Sasha Bordeaux, a character long connected to Batman's world. As reported by Marco Vito Oddo at ComicBook.com, Sasha's first appearance is in Detective Comics 751. Created by Greg Ruck and Sean McMartin, or Martin Burr, as a Secret Service agent, agent hired by Lucius Fox to protect Bruce Wayne. This assignment inevitably drew her into Gotham shadows, where she uncovered Bruce's dual life as Batman. Over time, she evolved from a bodyguard to vigilante ally, later undergoing a cybernetic transformation that left her caught between humanity and machine. The legacy has now been overturned in Peacemaker Season 2. Otto explained that in one of the episodes, Bordeaux is introduced not as Bruce Wayne's protector, but as an Argus agent under Rick Flag Sr., overseeing black operations. This new portrayal severs her historic ties to Batman entirely, removing the Dark Knight from her personal history by reframing her as a government operative. The DCU recast Sasha as a figure who can exist independently of Gotham, repositioning her for broader use in upcoming DCU roles and stories. The move is notable because Bordeaux's identity in the comics has always been defined by her relationship with Batman. By cutting the connection, the DCU is making a clear statement: even long-standing characters with deep comic roots are not immune to reinvention. Oddo emphasizes that this change aligns with James Gunn's larger vision for the DCU, one that reshapes origins and aligns to better serve interconnected storytelling regardless of what came before in the source material. For some fans, the change opens up exciting new possibilities for Sasha, placing her in a unique spot within the DCU's hierarchy. For others, it risks erasing the very qualities that made her an integral part of Batman's mythos. Either way, it's a bold rewrite that underscores the unpredictable nature of the Gunn era. Do you think cutting Batman out of Sasha Bordeaux's story is a smart move or a step too far? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Comic Issue Daily for more in-depth breakdowns of the biggest DC and Marvel news. And then we got the new DCU is making bold moves by rewriting who belongs in its canon. And some of the DC's most iconic heroes are currently on the sidelines, according to a report by Jackson Hayes at ComicBook.com. Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Aquaman have all been quietly removed and retconned or put on hold as James Gunn reshapes the continuity. Their presence in the universe is uncertain, with only vague hints of when or how they might return. Wonder Woman remains a priority, with Anna Nagarin, sorry, I mispronounced the name, scripted a new project, and a Paradise Lost series is in development. But Gal Gadot's version is not confirmed. The Flash has been stripped from canon entirely so far, With earlier cameo appearances erased from the end of Peacemaker Season 1, leaving questions about their incarnation, if any, will reappear. Aquaman's case is trickier still. Jason Momoa's previous role has been retconned, and he is now being positioned to play Lobo instead of making Arthur Curry. He's been positioned to play Lobo instead, making Arthur Curry's return murky. Hayes noted that while these changes look like erasures, they may instead be groundwork for fresh takes. Each character is likely to come back eventually, but on different terms with new creative directions and casting possibilities. Are you ready for reimagined versions of these heroes, or do you want to see the older portrayals continue? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And then the creative team of Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman pushed Absolute Wonder Woman Diana into a major turning point as she struggles to escape a deadly maze filled with unexpected challenges. According to Rich Johnston at Bleeding Cool, the issue contains the debut of a long-anticipated Absolute Universe character. Though the identity was kept hidden in the solicitations, readers are encountering a surprising ally of Diana, raising excitement and speculation about what's next for the series. Future issues are building towards massive stakes. Issue 13 sends Diana chasing a pattern of supernatural violence across the globe. 14 pits her against elemental forces and gods. And 15 finally brings her face to face with Absolute Batman. Johnston warns the run is quickly becoming one of the most collected pieces of the Absolute line. Fans online are already speculating heavily about the new arrival. Popular theories include Zatanna, whose mystical background fits the arc's supernatural tone, or Nubia giving the Amazon focus of the series. Others suspect a darker magical figure connected to Cersei or witchcraft might emerge. The secrecy is only heightened the anticipation and made this issue even more sought after. What do you think of the mystery? Who do you think the mystery ally could be? Share your comments. Share your predictions in the comments. And then David Brooks at AIPT reveals that Miles Morales is bringing back a dangerous artifact from the Ultimate Universe into the main Marvel continuity. The Origin Boxes. Sounds a lot like the other boxes. These devices, first tied to heroes and villains in the Ultimate line, can bestow powers or even rewrite destinies. While Miles carries them over in Incursions number 5 and Miles Morales Spider-Man number 39 on sale October 22nd, the stakes for the wider Marvel Universe just skyrocketed. The creative team at Den's Camp and Cody Ziegler, with art by Jonas Seraph, framed their Origin boxes more than simple plot devices. Each one could change the course of Marvel history, depending on who opens it. Brooks underscores that this development sets up long-term ripples across the Marvel storytelling for 2026 and beyond. Questions loom. Will heroes try to use the box responsibly? Will villains seize them for domination? And what does it mean for Miles himself to be carrying such a volatile secret? Brooks highlights that the consequences won't be confined to one series. This is an event that could touch multiple corners of the Marvel continuity. What do you think? Are the Origin boxes Marvel's next Infinity Gauntlet threat, or just a passing twist? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And then Marvel is setting the stage for a darker, more uncertain era for its mutants. As revelations in the teasing announcements of a new X-Men phase begins in January 2026, the incoming Shadows of Tomorrow relaunch picks up in the aftermath of Age of Revelations and promises both familiar teams and new spinoffs. Returning titles like Uncanny X-Men, and Wolverine are joined by Cyclops and Wade Wilson's Deadpool. The latter two serve as new entries into the post-event landscape. The theme and tone are more positioned through the teaser's language. The dream of the X-Men is being darkened, suggesting consequences, losses, and perhaps betrayals arising from the Age of Revelations. This suggests Marvel is leaning into the idea that what was built during the event won't simply reset back to normal. Mutant kind as a whole may face fractures within teams, leadership, or ideology as these series take off. Fans can expect more clarity at NYCC, where Marvel will lay out more of the structure, creative team, release dates, and how the new and returning titles will tie into each other. For now, the titles mentioned anchored the trajectory. Um, Cyclops and Deadpool stand out as new or renewed flagships, while Wolverine keeps a familiar presence. The goal seems to be weaving together old mythos and new directions, using the fallout from Age of Revelations to reset expectations. Mutant fans are being asked to brace themselves. Shadow of Tomorrow is not just a relaunch, it feels like a retconning where which X-Men books will survive, which teams will lead, and which characters will change in unexpected ways. Let the speculation begin. What are you most exciting or worried about for Shadows of Tomorrow? Which of the announcement series do you think will define the next X-Men chapter? Do you drop your predictions in the comments? And next story, we got the release of Superman on Max has shifted how viewers interpreted the film's ending. In theaters, the closing scenes felt like a clean victory. Superman saves the day, delivers hope, and resets the world for a brighter path. With the movie now streaming on Max, which it was released on Friday, and I did get a chance to rewatch it. It was great again. However, the audience knows that the story doesn't stop there. Confirmation of the upcoming sequel, Man of Tomorrow for 2027, reframes Lex Luthor's defeat and other late film moments as deliberate setups for what's coming next. One of the biggest revelations is that Superman and Lex Luthor will form an uneasy alliance in the sequel, a twist that wasn't telegraphed strongly in the theatrical experience. Knowing this, Lex's arrest and transfer to Belle Reve looks less like closure and more like the first step in a new arc. I can agree. That's after watching that, this makes a lot more sense. Threads like the emergence of the Justice Gang and the introduction of Miley Alcott's Supergirl also feel more like puzzle pieces being laid down in preparation for future stories. Streaming access makes it easier for fans to revisit the film and pick apart these details. Dialogue that seemed purely thematic in theaters now resonates as foreshadowing. The rewatch factor means the ending no longer plays as just an inspiring send-off. It reads as a launchpad for the next chapter in the DCU. For fans, the home release turns Superman from a satisfying conclusion into the beginning of a much bigger journey. What once felt like an endpoint is now a doorway into DC's evolving film universe. Does seeing Superman on Max change your perception of the ending? Did you catch new clues the second time around? Share your thoughts in the comments. I did. That's my feeling. I did see all this that this article was talking about. And now, in some really futuristic technology news, an immersive Stan Lee hologram will be one of the big draws at LA Comic-Con this year. In a dedicated 1,500 square foot booth dubbed the Stan Lee Experience, fans will have the opportunity to step into space that's part photo op, part interactive tech showcase. For about $15 to $20, attendees can enter the booth, take photos with the hologram, and even engage in a brief AI-powered conversation, simulating something more than just a static display. The setup is built to offer an emotional connection as much as a novelty. The hologram is designed to mimic Stan Lee's charisma and personality, allowing fans to feel like they're meeting him in some sense. Even though it's not a real conversation with Stan Lee himself, the promise is of something that approximates it. Responses, reflections, and moments fans will recognize and feel meaningful. There's been some discussion among attendees and commentators about how respectful or fitting this kind of tribute is. On one hand, it's a tech marvel and a way to keep Stan Lee's legacy alive in a new format. On the other hand, some fans wonder about authenticity, how accurate the representation will be, what kind of consent licensing makes it possible, and whether it feels appropriate to have a likeness of a deceased personality speaking via AI. What this suggests is that the conversations are increasingly blending memorialism with immersive tech. For LA Comic Con, hold on a second. Been subscription. For LA Comic Con, the Stanley hologram isn't just gimmicky. Isn't just a gimmick. It's arguably part of the future of how fandom remembers icons. The experience is more than taking a photo. It's about experiencing a connection with legacy, grief, and inspiration all in one place. Would you pay for a moment with an AI hologram? I don't know. Or someone you admire? What kind of questions or lines would you want this hologram of Stan Lee to respond to? Let me know in the comments. And then the comic book market continues to show strong momentum across golden, silver, and bronze age keys, with CovrPrice's Daily Shakers highlighting a diverse set of sales. Leading the pack was standout Golden Age Matt Baker book, Seven Seas comic issue number 4 from 1947 in a CGC 6.5, which sold for an impressive $19,800. Baker's covers are consistently high performers, and this result shows once again why collectors prize his Golden Age output so highly. Bronze and Silver Age superheroes also held firm. Amazing Spider-Man number 129 from 1974, featuring the first appearance of both the Punisher and the Jackal, hit $5,401 in a CGC 9.6. Journey into Mystery number 88 from 1962, an early Thor issue, notable for its Loki storyline, closed at $52.95 in a CGC 9.4. And meanwhile, Silver Streak Comics number 7 from 1941, another Golden Age gem, broke the $5,000 mark in the CGC 4.5. Romance and horror proved they still hold major sway in the market. Matt Baker's Teenage Romance number 11 from 1950 fetched $4,320 in a CGC 4.5, while his Pictorial Romance number 13 from 1952 landed $3,600 at a CGC 8.0. On the horror side, Tomb of Dracula number 10 from 1973, the first appearance of Blade, sold for $3,750 in a CGC 9.6, while Vampirella number 1 from 1969, the first appearance with the Frazetta cover, went for $3,700 in a CGC 9.0. Although the Shakers from the September 19th reflect a balanced market appetite, Golden Age rarities drawing the highest prices, Bronze Age debuts like Blade, Punisher, and the Jackal remain steady blue chip investments, and romance comics continuing their surprise rise thanks to Baker's enduring influence. For collectors, the message is clear. Across genres and eras, demand remains strong. Which of these sales surprised you the most? The near $20,000 Baker Golden Age book, or the steady strength of Punisher, Jackal, and Blade keys? Drop your thoughts below, and stick with Comic Issues Daily for more market insights alongside your daily comic news. Thank you everybody for watching. Just to let you remind you that tomorrow on Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be interviewing Collecting with Durs about how he runs and operates his YouTube channel to go from 0 to where he is now in subscribers and his watch time and things like that. So if you're interested in seeing how he does that, please bookmark or hit the bell notification for that video so you get notified. So please check that out. That's it for Comic Issues Daily for September 19th, 2025. Tell me in the comments, was cutting Batman out of Sacha Bordeaux's origin a good call? And who do you think shows up in Absolute Wonder Woman number 12? All sources are linked below in the description. And also, big thanks to Ron's Comic Closet, our channel sponsor. And if you use code IHaveIssues at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase with Ron. If this helps you stay current, tap subscribe, ring the bell, and share it with a fellow collector. I'll see you in the next one. More issues tomorrow. The Comic Kind.